60%. Chapter 241 Promise to upgrade, insufficient energy. Cloud-type people didn't get the order and didn't stop. As if they were about to take the lives of these 4 or 5 people, Shenyi hurriedly stopped. Stop. Several people hugged and shivered, not expecting to be so powerful. In addition to being afraid, they are more unwilling and unwilling. Why are they not so lucky to be able to get such a powerful creature without Shenyi? Will a few of you still miss the cloud-type person in the future? Shenyi looked at them and showed no mercy. Once they didn't give up the idea, naturally, he wouldn't let them go. Several people just want to protect their own lives at this time, and have no other thoughts. Looking at the cloud-shaped person in front of him, he couldn't wait to be 108,000 miles away from him. I'll never have this idea again, just let me go. After he finished speaking, he would wave his hand when he was satisfied, and he would all arrive on his battleship. Only after a few people's hanging hearts completely let go, they drove the battleship and left without looking back. Shenling watched the cloud-type person leave like this, and never let Shen get started from the beginning. It looks like someone will take your place in the future, protect Shenyi well. Shen felt a little uncomfortable when Shenyi didn't let himself shoot from the beginning to the end. It was even more uncomfortable to hear Shenling say this, and I felt that I needed to upgrade so that I could have more functions to help Shenyi. Who says I'm useless? I have more functions than cloud-type people, how could Shenyi not need me? 39. Shenling was just making a joke with him, but he didn't expect the other party to be so attentive and silent. Shenyi was very satisfied with the performance of the cloud-type person just now, knowing that he still needs to continue to grow. Only when it grows thoroughly can it become a more powerful species in interstellar space. You have a good rest, don't come out, there is still some energy to replenish here. Shenyi took out a few capsules and handed them to the cloud-type person, and the cloud-type person left directly. Only then did he notice that Shen was strange. Shenyi didn't understand what was going on. What did the two of you say? Why does Shen look gloomy? Shen heard Shenyi's voice and approached at once. This time there is danger, why don't you call me, but take the cloud-type person directly. Seeing Shen jealous look, Shenyi guessed what was going on. The incident happened suddenly just now, so I rushed over in a hurry, believing that Shen didn't inform him. Okay, you didn't come here yourself. Shen looked at Shenyi's understatement, but suddenly had other thoughts in his heart. If he can upgrade himself, become more powerful and have more functions, Shenyi needs himself more. Shenyi, can you upgrade me? After I upgrade, there will be more functions to help you. Seeing that he offered to upgrade, I understood that he was only aware of the sense of crisis, but Shenyi would not abandon Shen no matter what. This, even if the reason is clear, there is still some hesitation. 0. Katakana middle dot flowers katakana middle dot. Upgrading him also requires a lot of energy, and now most of the energy on the battleship is given to the cloud type. If you have a cloud type person, you don't want me anymore, you see the cloud type person has used so much energy. Shenling looked at Shen and deliberately embarrassed Shenyi. He couldn't stand it any longer. Before he could speak, he was stopped. Okay, I'll upgrade you, and I'll see how much energy the battleship has. Shen saw that he promised himself, and his heart blossomed. A piece came to the energy storage room, opened the door and saw a lot of energy. Shenling, see if these energy sources are enough to upgrade Shen 99. Not enough, it's still a lot worse, I'm afraid I need to collect some. Shen originally thought that he could become more powerful soon, but he was suddenly unhappy when he heard this. Thinking that Shenyi didn't want to upgrade himself at all, he deliberately delayed himself. Did you delay me on purpose and don't want to upgrade me? 99. Shen lost and ran away. Shenyi knew that there was a cloud-type person, and left Shen in the cold. Don't worry, Shen can calm down a bit. Now that there is no energy, there is no way to upgrade. Shenling comforted Shenyi and hoped that he could relax. It's okay, I'll leave first. 39. Shenyi doesn't believe that there is no other way to quickly collect energy, so Shen can definitely be upgraded. What is promised must be done. This is Shenyi's consistent style. 60%. Chapter 242 Someone asks for help. Shenyi, who returned to the room, fell into deep thought, not knowing how to collect energy. Suddenly a new idea emerged, that some energy can be recovered and exchanged with them for other things. Shenyi still has some gems that can improve his abilities, just for those who need it. The level has reached a high enough level that these low-level gems are not needed. quickly hung up the gems in the store, originally just holding the mentality of giving it a try. I didn't expect to see that many people exchanged energy for what they needed. 9:57, just after it was put on the shelves. There are many newbies who can get a lot of energy when they just log in, but some things can't be obtained no matter how hard they try. Shen Yi quickly recovered a large amount of energy, and upgrading Shen was still a lot worse. Before reaching his goal, Shen Yi was a little lost and didn't know what to do for a while, as if he had encountered a thorny problem. At this time, Shen Ling suddenly ran in a panic, and just now he had detected that someone around seemed to be sending a distress signal. At first, he was not very sure that he would not dare to disturb him, but now it is completely certain that someone on the nearest planet is sending 3 distress signals. After that, there is no news, and it must pass as soon as possible while the time is still early. I just saw that someone on a planet not far away sent 3 distress signals. Do you want to go over and take a look, maybe which player has encountered difficulties? Shen Ling's sudden news made Shen Yi see hope, and for a while he didn't know what to do. I also know that I might get a lot of energy by taking this opportunity, and I can upgrade Shen at that time. Driving the battleship over there. Seeing Shen Yi's kind-hearted appearance, Shen Ling guessed that he might have other motives. After all, with Shen Yi's character, he wouldn't mind nosy at all. You can't wait to rush over. If you have other ideas, you might as well tell me, maybe I can still help. Hearing these words, Shen Yi calmed down a little and treated him honestly. I think that since someone has encountered difficulties, they must have encountered star monsters. As long as all the star monsters are defeated, I can get some energy. Seeing Shen Yi calmly, Shen Ling didn't say a word, very calm. After all, I calmed down a little bit, and didn't let my heart fluctuate too much. Well, the interstellar monsters on that planet should not be very powerful. Shen Ling investigated the planet and determined that there were no interstellar monsters that were too dangerous. Soon, the battleship set off directly, heading towards that planet. Soon, they reached the planet and slowly landed. Shen Yi just got off the battleship and saw a lot of interstellar monsters there. It was as if it was attacking something, but because the siege was too deep, it was impossible to see what the Lord was asking for help. Shen also followed closely after knowing that Shen Yi had left the battleship. Understand that coming here is just to gain energy and improve one's strength. He will definitely help Shen Yi overcome all difficulties, seeing only some low-level interstellar monsters in front of him. I always feel that it is a waste of time to come here, it is better to go to other planets. Thinking of this, I couldn't calm down for a long time. Why do we come here? Although there are a lot of interstellar monsters, they are all low-level monsters. Only by eliminating them all can I level up. Seeing that Shen didn't know when he appeared behind him, Shen Yi understood that the other party was still worried about his own safety, and felt warm in his heart. It's just that I received a distress signal from other players, and I can't ignore other players. Shen looked at Shen Yi's nosy business, and was extremely helpless, and rushed into the group of interstellar monsters. It turned into a lightning-like blade and shuttled among these interstellar monsters. Looking at Shen so hard, Shen Yi easily got to the middle and saw where a player was struggling to support, and there were people around who sacrificed. Hurry up and grab my hand, I'll take you out of here, and the rest of the monsters will be dealt with. 35. The player saw that someone came to save him, but he didn't stretch out his hands and was stunned there. Tears flowed from his eyes as if he was very excited. For a while, Shen Yi didn't know what to do, so he just stood still. The surrounding interstellar monsters noticed someone breaking in and attacked Shen Yi. 61%. Chapter 243 follow. Shen Yi realized that unless he eliminated all the interstellar monsters, he would not be able to save this man, so he simply ignored him and started eliminating the monsters directly. Suddenly, out of thin air appeared in his hand, a laser shot out of a gun, enough to kill a large number of interstellar monsters. The man behind him just froze there, watching Shen Yi's every move motionless, as if he had never seen it before. It didn't take long for him to harvest a lot of energy. To Shen Yi's surprise, these energy sources could just improve the second level of Shen. Seeing so much energy, even Shen Yi himself was a little surprised, and the man beside him spoke slowly at this time. My name is Lu Mingming. Thank you for your life-saving grace. If it wasn't for your help, I would have died here. Only then did Shen Yi know what the rescued man was called, and he felt a little embarrassed looking at his enthusiastic appearance. He only came here because of 07 energy, otherwise he wouldn't care what happened on this planet, but it was impossible to say these words. It's just a little effort. After all, I can get a lot of energy by killing these interstellar monsters. Speaking very calmly, Shen Yi did not intend to communicate with him at all, and turned around to leave. Lu Mingming suddenly pulled Shen Yi, and the expression on his face did not change much. Don't leave yet. Anyway, I should thank you for saving me. Here are some of my resources for you. Seeing his strange appearance, Shen Yi didn't know what to say for a while. Although he wanted these resources very much, Shen Yi couldn't bear the gratitude of others after all. I think it's just a matter of hands, and I shouldn't be thanked by you. You should take it back. Accepting these things, I feel ashamed. After Shen Yi finished speaking, he was about to board the spaceship, but was still stopped by Lu Mingming. No matter what you think in your heart, at least I would like to thank you for your life-saving grace, otherwise I will feel sorry for these things in my heart, so just accept it. 99. Shen Ling could see that the other party didn't have any bad thoughts in his heart. Thanks to Shen Yi, even if he accepted it, it wouldn't have much impact. It's been a stalemate like this all the time, but it's a headache. I think you should keep these things, at least it's someone else's will. Will these materials be of great help to Shen Yi for a while, but all the problems will be solved one day. Shen Yi saw that Shen Ling had begun to persuade himself, thinking that there was no need to be too stubborn. I accept it. I hope you don't continue to follow us. Lu Mingming watched Shen Yi finally accept the things, and then let them board the battleship. After leaving the battleship, I thought that I would meet Lu Mingming just like that. Unexpectedly, when driving a certain distance, Shen Ling saw the battleship that had been following them. From the beginning, Lu Mingming has been following us, as if unwilling to leave. Shen Yi can only pass information to Lu Mingming. Why do you still follow us? I have accepted your thanks. I can't follow us all the time. You also have your own things to do. 35. Lu Mingming didn't expect Shen Yi to notice him so quickly. He not only wanted to send those things to thank. Always follow Shen Yi to protect Shen Yi's safety. If there is any danger, you can help Shen Yi share one or two. No, just sending those things is not enough. In order to express my gratitude to you, I want to follow you all the time. Seeing Lu Mingming being so stubborn, Shen Yi 957 regretted staying in the first place and should have left without so much trouble. Actually, you really don't have to do this. I'm already very embarrassed to receive your thank you gift. How can I keep you following me? But Lu Mingming was very stubborn in this matter and insisted on following Shen Yi all the time. Shen Ling, is there a way for us to get rid of him in a short period of time? We can't keep him following us all the time. Shen Yi likes to do things alone, and he doesn't know Lu Mingming at all, so he can't help but worry. I'm afraid not yet. There is no way for Shen Ling to increase the speed in a short period of time unless the battleship can be upgraded. We really have no way to get rid of him. If there is any way, we can say it directly without worrying too much. Shen Yi doesn't like following the stalkers behind them all the time, it will make things worse. 61%. Chapter 244 was knocked down. Since you want to follow us so much, just follow, but I won't invite you to the spaceship. Lu Mingming was very happy when he saw Shen Yi's attitude change drastically, knowing that he would be recognized soon. Don't worry, as long as you can follow you, it's enough, nothing else will be a problem. 99. Seeing that Lu Mingming had no further requests, Shen Yi breathed a sigh of relief and wandered in the interstellar space. Before long, Shen Ling detected that someone was constantly approaching them. I detected someone approaching our ship, and we are still 100 kilometers away. 35. Shen Yi was not shocked to see this news. He knew that as long as the cloud-type people were in his hands, he would attract more people. I'm afraid it's also because cloud-type people will come here, and it's really because of the painstaking efforts to get cloud-type people. No matter how difficult it is to get this thing, Shen Yi will not let go. Just as Shen Ling was about to ask Shen Yi how this matter should be resolved, he saw Lu Mingming, who had been following them, suddenly rushed over. Lu Mingming, who had been following us, didn't know what he was thinking, but suddenly rushed over. 39. Initially, Shen Yi was very stable in this regard, knowing that no matter who could snatch the cloud-type people, he would not succeed. But now that he learned of Lu Mingming's past, he was a little worried. Lu Mingming alone can't even fight against those low-level interstellar monsters, let alone other powerful players. Who let him go? Shen Er, hurry up and stop him. Shen Er saw that Shen Yi's order was just about to stop, but found that it was too late. Lu Mingming's spaceship has already flown into the opponent's camp. If I can't save him now, I will involve myself. Shen hasn't improved his strength yet, and he doesn't have much confidence in himself. Seeing this situation, Shen Yi became impatient, thinking that he was clearly causing trouble for himself, and called the other party with the spaceship, hoping that the other party would come back in time. Lu Mingming, what are you doing? Don't you know that they are going to attack me? You rushed over like this. Lu Mingming had just passed by when he received the news from Shen Yi, and his heart was up and down, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. Looking at Shen Yi next to him, his mood calmed down, and there was no expression on his face. Don't worry, I know they are here to trouble you, so I thought of attacking them. Listening to Lu Mingming's words, Shen Yi shouted for help in his heart, not knowing what to do for a while. You come back quickly. Those people are very powerful. You are not their opponent at all, so rushing forward will definitely encounter danger. Before he could persuade Lu Mingming to come back, the communication was suddenly cut off. Lu Mingming was already close at hand to the battleships in front of him. The people on the battleship saw an inexplicable battleship flying over, not knowing why. They didn't have any malice towards the other party at all, they just launched a few attacks on Shen Yi's battleship before, and it didn't have any significant effect. You don't even look at so many of us, you are not an opponent at all. If you want to get cloud-type people, I advise you to join us. Lu Mingming didn't know what the role of the cloud-type person was, and the reason why he came here was to help Shen Yi solve the trouble and repay Shen Yi's life-saving grace. You can't hurt Shen Yi, no matter what, he is also my savior. Seeing Lu Mingming's angry look, those people didn't care at all and continued to move towards the Shen Yi battleship. Lu Mingming saw that he could not dissuade the other party at all, so he rushed over in a hurry and launched an attack on them. Those people were immediately annoyed. No matter what the purpose of coming here this time, let's deal with Lu Mingming first. Nuo Li Jiao, several warships fired at Lu Mingming at the same time. Lu Mingming's warship was originally a very low level, and it crashed without taking 2 hits. Shen Ling was taken aback when he detected the crash of Lu Mingming's battleship. Shen Yi, hurry up and save Lu Mingming. His warship has been recovered, and it has been falling in the interstellar space, and there will be a big explosion in the end. What a hassle. He complained that Lu Mingming was adding trouble to himself, but Shen Yi drove the battleship uncontrollably and rushed towards the place where Lu Mingming crashed. Shen looked at Shen Yi like this, and envied Shen Yi who cared so much about them. 61%. Chapter 245 Can't Find the Base. Shen Yi used the battleship to catch Lu Mingming in time, so that he did not crash with the battleship. Seeing Shen Yi saving himself again, Lu Mingming felt a little embarrassed. Originally, he was just to help Shen Yi share the trouble, but now it seems that he has added more trouble to Shen Yi. Before they could bring Lu Mingming back to the battleship, those people had surrounded Shen Yi. Shen Yi, as long as you are willing to hand over the cloud-type people to us, I will let you go, otherwise. After upgrading the warships, Shen Yi can make the warships move quickly in a short period of time without having to mess with them at all. So what if I don't give it to you? You can go to that planet to find it by your own abilities, why do you have to think about my things? 5. Shen Yi was looking forward to them coming to him again and again, and Troublesome was a little angry in his heart. Even if the cloud-type people have the formidable power, they should rely on their own ability to obtain it. Those people were just about to attack Shen Yi, and Shen Yi spoke again 960 times. Your target is me, and no one should be hurt anyway. 99. It is good. Those people hesitated for a while, but also calmed down a little and agreed to give Shen Yi time. He quickly took Lu Mingming to his battleship, completely unaware of the danger. Instead, he looked at Shen Yi gratefully, thinking that without Shen Yi, he would not be able to survive this danger. It was originally to help you, but I didn't expect things to turn out like this. You must forgive me. After hearing this, Shen Yi calmed down and looked at him. Those people are still eyeing them. Shen Yi needs to leave as soon as possible. Don't say anything. We'll leave right away. AHDG. Without even thinking about it, Shen Yi quickly moved the position of the battleship. When they opened their eyes again and returned to the spaceship, Shen was relieved to see Shen Yi return safely, thinking that if it wasn't for Lu Mingming, it would not have been necessary. Lu Mingming, do you know how much trouble you have caused Shen Yi this time? 35. In the face of their accusations, Lu Mingming just lowered his head. Thinking of the scene where Shen Yi was so powerful just now, I thought he was so powerful that so many warships were able to escape safely while watching them. Shen Yi, you are so powerful. If you weren't so powerful, I'm afraid it would be difficult for me to come back safely, can I? Seeing that he hadn't realized his own problems until now, he felt helpless and realized that he had saved them a big trouble back. Don't go on talking. Do you know how much trouble this time has caused me, and don't act on your own in the future. In the face of Shen Yi's rebuke, Lu Mingming did not give up the idea in his heart. He wanted to learn to attack with Shen Yi, thinking that he was very good in all aspects. I am deeply sorry for the trouble this time, but I want to learn with you, Shen Yi, and the competition will become stronger. Seeing that Lu Mingming still wanted to be with him, he calmed down and decided to send him away. Lu Mingming, the situation that you have been following is too dangerous. Why don't I send you back to my base? I don't go. Seeing that Shen Yi was about to send himself away, he was very unhappy and unwilling to leave. Seeing that he was unwilling to leave, Shen Ling couldn't stand it any longer and blamed him. Can you tell me why you have to follow Shen Yi? We're just here to help you take a look. I'm going to stay. You have been following me, and the situation will only become more dangerous. You should be very aware that someone is staring at me and wants to take away the cloud-type person. Lu Mingming looked at Shen Yi's serious face and knew what was going on. If he doesn't want to go back to his base, we'll leave him here. Shen looked at Shen Yi because he took risks and was very worried. You choose. Shen Yi knew that because of his tender-heartedness, he had let him follow him for so long. Lu Mingming saw that they were about to abandon him, and the unspeakable hidden in his heart also came out at this time. It's not that I have to take you all away, it's just that I can't find where my base is, and I can't go back. The people who had planned to send him away suddenly quieted down at this time. Seeing him like this, Shen Yi started to regret in his heart. 61%. Chapter 246 Increase the System. At first Shen Yi didn't think it would be such a big trouble for Lu Mingming to come back. Seeing that Lu Mingming could no longer find his base, he must have taken him in, otherwise it would be equivalent to leaving Lu Mingming without him. I regret saving you at that time, and I didn't consider the consequences of the matter at all. Lu Mingming didn't expect Shen Yi to say this, knowing that he would bring too much trouble. I didn't do it on purpose, don't be angry, just let me stay here. 35. After speaking, Lu Mingming was wronged, and Shen Er's original anger disappeared. Forget it, Lu Mingming can't go back, let him stay here. 35. Shen Yi also knew that he was just angry words, how could he abandon the person who was rescued with so much effort? Thanks. Cloud-type people arrange Lu Mingming's residence, let him rest here. Shen saw that only Shen Yi was left, so he made a request. Shen Yi, you promised to upgrade me earlier, but my level has not changed until now, did you forget this? No, there are too many things recently, go to the remodeling room now, and I will add a system for you. At first, Shen Yi was really forgotten because there were too many things, and later it was because he didn't know how to strengthen Shen. Seeing him bring this up again, Shen Yi had to do it. The two quickly came to the transformation room, and Shen, who had always wanted to become stronger, became uneasy at this time. He doesn't know whether the next system can make him stronger, or expose many shortcomings. When I think of these, I feel a little uneasy in my heart, and I don't want to lie there. Looking at his hesitant look, he knew what he was worried about. If these things can't be relieved, no matter how much effort Shen Yi spends, it will be meaningless. If you don't believe that the systems I've added to you will make you better, then no amount of effort will be worth it. Seeing the other party like this, Shen was stunned, not knowing how to speak, his face was expressionless. Having been with Shen Yi for so long, through so many difficulties, I already understand his character. Even if there is a cloud-type person now, he will definitely not abandon himself and put his heart in his stomach completely. I'm not afraid, I believe you can make me better. Shen lay there motionless. Shen Yi started to use energy, formed a chip, and implanted it in Shen body. After a long time, the chip was finally fully integrated with Shen. Seeing that he had put in so much effort and finally had the result, Shen Yi was completely relieved. It was the first time he tried to add a system to Shen fearing that something might go wrong. After a while, Shen Yi looked at Shen and woke him up. I have installed the system in your body and can use the system to quickly judge the nearby situation. When Shen heard the result, he was very happy and couldn't wait to try it. 0. Not only can you see the situation nearby, you can even hear the situation within 10 kilometers. It is even faster and more accurate than Shen 0 to detect the surrounding situation. This is too easy to use, it's much better than I thought, I'll show you. Even Shen Yi himself was looking forward to how powerful this system was, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. Okay, I just happened to have a look. 35. 0. Shen began to show it in front of Shen Yi. It is possible to accurately say what everyone is doing at this moment. In order to determine the accuracy, Shen Yi also ran over to take a look. Shen said exactly. The energy required by the battleship is far from enough. Shen Yi and the others are going to kill some star monsters nearby to replenish the energy. We split up. Everyone separated, looking for interstellar monsters within 20 kilometers. 35. Shen has a special function, which makes it easier to do this without any burden. Why don't you have a good rest on the battleship? Leave this matter to me alone, and I can come back soon. Seeing that Shen couldn't wait to show the new function, Shenling was a little curious. Have you forgotten that no matter how powerful you are, you can't be sure? The location of the interstellar monsters is like finding a needle in a haystack, and nothing can be found in this interstellar space. 5. Who said it? Shen looked at Shenling with a little more conviction in his eyes. 62%. Chapter 247 Cloud-type people injured. Shenling couldn't help but become curious what kind of system Shen Yi had installed for Shen and couldn't wait to find out. Shen Yi, hurry up and tell us what kind of system everyone gave him. Shen Yi himself wasn't going to tell others about this, but seeing Shen always showing off in front of others, he couldn't hide it at all. It can detect the surrounding situation and quickly judge what is around. Quote. Satisfied waiting for Shenling to say other things, looked at Wu Wei and Shenling's 960. This time, we will be divided into 2 teams. One will drive a battleship to leave the spaceship, and look around to see if there are interstellar monsters. How to divide? Shenling believed that Shen Yi would take him with him. After all, for a long time, they were rarely separated. Shen and I are in the same team, and you are following the fearless. Shen has just adapted to this ability, and I'm still afraid that he is not skilled in using it himself. Shenling was not satisfied with the result and could not find out where the problem was, so he could only choose to compromise. Next, Lu Mingming watched them prepare to leave the spaceship, but did not take him with him. I thought I was too useless to be able to help them. You guys go out looking for star monsters, can you take me with you? Although I'm not very good, I also want to learn some combat experience. It was only then that Shen Yi remembered Lu Mingming, who didn't want to take him with him at all, and had a good idea in his heart. I didn't forget you, it's just that you need to help us clean the spaceship properly. The spaceship has not been sorted out for a long time. I do not. Lu Mingming always felt that Shen Yi said a lot of innocuous things just to keep himself on the spaceship. The spaceship will move in space, you have to stabilize it, don't move around. Shen Yi's words suddenly calmed him down, realizing the importance of this matter. No longer clamoring to leave with Shen Yi and the others, but stayed on the spaceship with the cloud-type people. Originally, Lu Mingming thought that cleaning the spaceship was a very simple matter, but whether it was controlling the cleaning tools on the spaceship or mopping the floor, it was all messed up. The spacecraft, which was still slightly neat, was messed up with his efforts. The cloud-shaped man who had been following behind him watched. Lu Mingming couldn't help but sneer when he did these things. You are just causing trouble for Shen Yi by doing these things. When they come back and see that the spaceship will be busy for a while, it is better to rest here and leave it to me. 39. Distraught, Lu Mingming watched this creature of unknown origin mocking himself, feeling uncomfortable. If it wasn't for the existence of cloud-type people before, how could those people find trouble with Shen Yi? And the anger in their hearts rose little by little. Don't make fun of me. If it wasn't for your existence, why would Shen Yi work so hard to improve his strength? It's also because of you that the energy shortage occurs. Lu Mingming learned about the cloud-type people from Shenling, Wu Wei and their mouths. Shen Yi worked so hard knowing that the cloud-type people had to claim all the energy produced by the spaceship every day. It was the first time that the cloud-type person was accused, and he was a little anxious, and he attacked Lu Mingming regardless of what he meant. Lu Mingming did this on purpose. Seeing that the cloud-type person was angry, he shot at the cloud-type person mercilessly. At the beginning, Lu Mingming was still in a headwind, and soon because there was not enough energy on the spacecraft for the cloud-type people to replenish, he was defeated. Lu Mingming didn't notice what was wrong, and accidentally injured the cloud-shaped person. Shen Yi and the others just came back at this time, and they were very angry when they saw Lu Mingming like this. Leaving you here is just to let you take good care of the cloud type and the entire spaceship. I am so disappointed that you were able to take a big shot on the cloud type. Shen Yi dropped these words and left without turning his head in his arms, leaving only Lu Mingming. 3.6 Wu Wei always felt that things were strange, and when he looked at his lost appearance, he couldn't help feeling sympathy. Don't worry too much. Shen Yi will be fine after a while. He's just too worried about the cloud-type person's situation and is afraid of problems. 99. Lu Mingming was a little choked up, but he didn't say a word, instead he ran away. Lu Mingming, who was unfamiliar with spaceships, found a dark corner and became weak. He didn't know why the cloud-type person suddenly didn't get hurt just now, and he accidentally. 62%. Chapter 248 Keep it for a while. Lu Mingming really didn't expect that Shen Yi would be so fierce and think that he couldn't stay here forever, causing trouble to Shen Yi and the others, and they couldn't do anything well. After Shen Yi treated the cloud-type person's wound, he looked at the cloud-type person seriously. He knew that Lu Mingming would not inexplicably hurt the cloud-type person, so there must be something wrong. Can you tell me what happened while the two of you were on the ship? Cloud-type people know that it is their own problem. If it is not malicious ridicule, Lu Mingming will not happen next. Thinking about it, I didn't know how to explain it for a while. Shen Yi looked at his hesitant look and guessed what was going on. Thinking of the scene in which I scolded Lu Mingming just now, I couldn't help feeling a little ashamed. Thinking that he is too fierce for Lu Mingming, he just survived in this interstellar space more difficult than 07. Leaving the cloud-shaped man's room and looking for Lu Mingming, he couldn't find him, as if he had disappeared out of thin air. Shen Er, hurry up and see where Lu Mingming has gone. He is so weak now, it is difficult to protect himself. 35. Shen Yi finally came to Shen Er for help, and soon found Lu Mingming in the warehouse, and quickly looked for it. Don't continue to be unhappy, the cloud-type person will be fine. Lu Mingming didn't expect Shen Yi to find himself so quickly, and his heart has been much calmer since just now. Understand that it is your own problem, and you shouldn't take big shots on cloud-type people. It is inappropriate to deal with those interstellar monsters, without the ability to bully cloud-type people here. I shouldn't have shot the cloud man in a fit of rage, he's an interstellar creature anyway. Seeing Lu Mingming taking advantage of others' mistakes, Shen Yi was not happy at all, but rather distressed. Just now, I didn't investigate the situation clearly, so I was so strict with you, it was too indiscriminate. The two admitted their problems to each other, and Lu Mingming had also figured out another thing just now. Actually, there is one more thing I want to discuss with you. I hope you will not reject me because of this. 5. Seeing Lu Mingming's awkward and unnatural look, Shen Yi couldn't guess what was going on. If you have anything, just say it. What happened today is that I misunderstood you, it's not that you can't do anything well. I'm afraid you will take me in for a while. I always add trouble to you, so please bear with me. Lu Mingming couldn't find a place to stay for a while, and couldn't think of where his base was. I can only ask Shen Yi to take him in temporarily for a while, seeing that he is actually hesitant because of this matter. Shen Yi knew that Lu Mingming had been hit hard during the time Lu Mingming was on the spacecraft. Everything on the spacecraft needs to be learned slowly before it can be used proficiently. You don't actually need to be so careful, it's normal for the things on the spacecraft to be poorly controlled. It was unnecessary to be here before, but it added a lot of trouble. Watching Shen Yi enlighten himself, he didn't agree with this matter, and he was confused and didn't know what was going on. Do you not want to take me here anymore? If not, I will think of other ways. 35. It's not that I don't want Lu Mingming to stay here, although I did have such thoughts before, but seeing Lu Mingming like this now makes me feel a little distressed. No, you can live here for as long as you want. Seeing that Shen Yi didn't want to drive him away because he accidentally hurt the cloud-type person, Lu Mingming's heart dropped a little. It's just that life on the spacecraft will take some time to get used to. That, if you have any problems, you can go to the Pointless, he will help you. Shen Er's character Shen Yi knows too much, even if he said it himself, he would not help Lu Mingming. Lu Mingming didn't expect Shen Yi to think about himself, and who should he turn to for help if he doesn't get used to it? My heart is warm, and the previous sourness has disappeared. Just as Lu Mingming left, Shen Er ran out and looked at Shen Yi. I know the most clearly about the spaceship, why didn't he ask me, but it was useless. 99. Looking at Shen Er, Shen Yi regretted letting him have such an ability, and he didn't even have the slightest privacy. He simply walked away from Shen Er without saying a word. 62%. Chapter 249 Do Not Forgive. Shen Ling knew about this very quickly, but he didn't expect that Shen Yi would forgive Lu Mingming, and was very surprised. I ran to Shen Yi's room and watched him for a while, not knowing how to ask. I heard about Lu Mingming and the cloud-type person. How could you let Lu Mingming off so easily? Shen Ling remembered that Shen Yi couldn't wait to let Lu Mingming leave, but now it has become like this. From the very beginning, Shen Yi wanted Lu Mingming to leave, but could not find a suitable reason. I don't know either, I just feel that I can't blame Lu Mingming for what happened this time. Although Shen Yi wanted to send Lu Mingming away, he didn't want to take advantage of the situation. Shen Ling could see that Shen Yi was soft-hearted in the matter of Lu Mingming, otherwise it would definitely not be the current situation. You won't be merciful this time, right? I think you've never been merciful. There should be a reason this time. Seeing that Shen Ling knew him so well, Shen Yi didn't know what was going on this time. Every time I saw Lu Mingming's pitiful appearance, Yu Xin couldn't bear it, and couldn't bear to be too harsh on him. I can tell you something, but you have to keep it a secret. Shen Yi's cautious look made Shen Ling's mood complicated, and he didn't understand what was going on. Always thinking that Lu Mingming had some unsolved mystery, he approached Shen Yi. Go ahead, I won't tell anyone else, you can rest assured about this. I don't know why, every time I approach Lu Mingming, I have a strange feeling. Shen Yi couldn't tell exactly what he was feeling, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. Shen Ling didn't know what was going on, so he comforted Shen Yi and told him not to be brooding about this matter. Don't worry, this matter is nothing at all, you don't have to worry about it. Shen Yi was in a much better mood after listening to him comfort him. At this time, the cloud-type person hurried in. Seeing that the cloud-type person is safe and sound, the worries in his heart have also disappeared. It's fine if you have nothing to do, don't quarrel with Lu Mingming. The cloud type didn't expect Shen Yi to suddenly say such a thing, and was stunned for a while, always thinking that this time it was Lu Mingming's problem. You're not here, Lu Mingming bullied me at will, is it just like this to let him go? 35. Watching the cloud type person lose control little by little, Shen Yi realized that he couldn't explain it clearly. Maybe he hasn't come out of what happened just now, and there is some anger to say such unreasonable things. You go back to your room first and then rest more, don't stay here all the time. The cloud type didn't expect Shen Yi's attitude towards him to be so indifferent, he left without saying a word. Are you doing this too obviously to favor Lu Mingming and let go of this matter? Shen Ling was worried that the incident of Shen Yi would make Yun-type people unhappy, and more bad things would happen in the future. It's okay, don't worry. After Shen Yi let Shen Ling leave, he lay there alone. Lu Mingming soon learned that Yun Xingren was safe and sound, and was going to apologize to him. Only by letting the cloud-type people forgive themselves, can they continue to live on this spaceship. Otherwise, the next thing will become more troublesome, take the initiative to find the cloud-type person. Seeing Lu Mingming's appearance, the cloud-type person has a very bad attitude, and thinks that it is not Lu Mingming's reason, and Shen Yi will not be so indifferent to himself. Backquote. What on earth are you doing here? Is it to see if I am seriously injured and leave here? Seeing the cloud-type person being so indifferent to him, Lu Mingming didn't know how to say the words on his lips for a while, so he could only calm down as much as possible. It was indeed my fault that we had a dispute on the spaceship before. I shouldn't be so extreme towards you. It was because I didn't ask myself clearly, and using those things seemed a little stupid of King Nuo's. Lu Mingming admitted his own problems and spoke out about it frankly. Even so, I just say it at will, and you take action against me, and you don't treat yourself as a guest at all. Life. After saying a lot of things, Lu Mingming was very helpless and didn't understand why he didn't forgive himself. I have already admitted my mistake, you have to hold on to this matter, I really can't help it. Lu Mingming has tried his best, but the cloud-type person has been unwilling to forgive himself, and is very powerless. Tell me what I do to be able to forgive me. 62%. Chapter 250 Threatened. Looking at Lu Mingming's unrelenting appearance, the cloud-type man suddenly thought of an idea. He thought that he would take him to Shen Yi's place and drive him out, so that no one would ever trouble him again. Before Lu Mingming appeared, the cloud man was free on this spaceship, and no one even dared to hurt him. You go to that place with me, as long as you dare to go, I can forgive you. Lu Mingming had heard of how smart the cloud-type person was, and he couldn't help but feel uneasy when he saw him so. There is not enough evidence to be extremely entangled, or choose to leave with the other party. Not long after, he came directly to the door of Shen Yi's room. Lu Mingming wanted to turn around and leave, but was pulled in by the cloud-shaped man. Shen Yi watched the two of them appear at the same time and didn't understand. Why did you two come here at the same time at 960, is there any problem? Seeing Shen Yi's puzzled face, the cloud-type person didn't think about the current situation at all, and blurted out without thinking about it. Shen Yi, hurry up and drive Lu Mingming away. If it wasn't for him, how could I have been injured? He continues to stay here. I don't know what danger will happen next. 5. Seeing the unreasonable appearance of Yun-type people, Shen Yi was very helpless. No matter what Lu Mingming did, he didn't do it on purpose. Don't make trouble unreasonably. Lu Mingming has already admitted his own problems. If you keep holding on to this matter, you will be a little bit stubborn. Seeing that Shen Yi did not accept the cloud-type person's request all at once, Lu Mingming felt a little relieved in his heart. Knowing that Shen Yi will speak for himself, this matter is indeed his own problem, which will make the cloud-type person unhappy. Don't be angry, I admit my problem, there is no need to hold on to this matter. Seeing the cloud-type person like this, Shen Yi calmed down and tried to convince him. Why do you have to drive him away? He just stays here with someone to accompany you, we always have a lot of things to do every day. Shen Yi tried to convince the cloud-type person, but the cloud-type person did not agree with this matter at all. In any case, he will drive Lu Mingming away, and he will not know what will happen next if he stays here. Shen Yi, don't bother, you have to send Lu Mingming away. Seeing that the type of cloud had to send him away, Lu Mingming was a little disappointed, and he clearly apologized sincerely. The other party is still unwilling to forgive himself. No matter how hard he tries, there is no way to change this matter. I will never send Lu Mingming away. I have promised to let him stay here. If you insist on this AHDG, I can't help it. 35. Seeing the cloud-type person making trouble unreasonably, Shen Yi exhausted his patience and couldn't bear it. Cloud-type people didn't expect Shen Yi to be so determined and insisted on keeping him. After figuring out what to do, he suddenly thought of threatening Shen Yi. If I say so many things that you don't listen to, then I can't do anything about it. It's just that Lu Mingming stays here. When the time comes, I will definitely let the cloud-type people attack you. Lu Mingming watched the two of them speak and made things more and more serious, and felt ashamed. Even if you leave this spaceship and have nowhere to live, you can't trouble Shen Yi. The two of you should stop arguing over this matter. Since you don't want to, I'll just stay here and leave, it won't cause you any more trouble. 39. Looking at the sincerity of the other party, Yun-type people understand that Lu Mingming still cares about Shen Yi. Shen Yi didn't even think that it was a trivial matter, but he didn't expect to let the cloud-type people move out of his kind. If all the cloud-type people came to attack him, Shen Yi would naturally be able to fight. Now that he has become much stronger, it is very easy to deal with those cloud-type people. Looking at the face of the cloud-type man threatening him, he couldn't help feeling gloomy. You can make other demands to make up for it, but Lu Mingming will never be sent away. If you have to do it, I can't help it. Shen Yi can meet other requirements of Yongxingren, but he will not agree to send Lu Mingming away anyway. No, Lu Mingming must be sent away, or I will do what I say. Seeing Shen Yi hesitate for so long, the cloud type thought he was actually scared and wanted to seize this opportunity. Shen Yi hates others to threaten him the most. In any case, he will not agree to every request made by the cloud type. 63%. Chapter 251 Back to the Planet. You are sure that you will never forgive Lu Ming? You can answer me after thinking about this matter. Shen Yi didn't show any softness towards the cloud-type person. Instead, there was some anger, as if giving the cloud-type person a last chance to consider. Cloud-type people didn't notice Shen Yi's abnormality at all, and insisted on letting Lu Mingming leave. Shen Yi left the room in a fit of anger. The cloud-type thought that Shen Yi was ready to compromise, and looked at Lu Mingming with a bit of schadenfreude. It looks like Shen Yi is ready to compromise. He's still more afraid of all the cloud types. Lu Mingming always felt that things would not be like this, and Shen Yi did not compromise. Shen Ling saw Shen Yi coming to him and thought that something important had happened. Has our ship been attacked? I was just a little lazy just now. Can you still find the planet where the cloud man is? Shen Ling didn't know what Shen Yi was going to do, and he was full of doubts. Why are you suddenly looking for a cloud-type person? Didn't you already bring one? You don't have to meddle with other things, just do as I ask. Shen Yi said this, very indifferent, and then sat there. Shen Ling could only follow Shen Yi's request and not let his heart fluctuate too much. Soon the spaceship stopped on the planet where the cloud-type people lived again, and the cloud-type people rushed over to meet Shen Yi. The attitude towards him was very compliment, as if Shen Yi had made a great contribution to them. At this time, the leader of the cloud-type people also suddenly appeared to warmly welcome Shen Yi, thinking that there must be something wrong with him coming to this planet again. I don't know if you suddenly came to this planet and found something, we can provide you with whatever you need. Seeing the cloud-type leader's attitude towards him being so good, Shen Yi's anger faded a little. The cloud-type person you gave us insisted on driving Lu Mingming away. The two of them just had some conflicts, and Lu Mingming has already apologized. Shen Yi told the head of the cloud-type person about what happened, and his face became very solemn when he heard this. Some looked angrily at the cloud-type people standing beside Shen Yi, thinking that he had embarrassed the cloud-type people. Such a cloud-type person shouldn't be allowed to go to Shen Yi's side. I don't know what you want me to do when you tell me this. Even though the leader had some doubts in his heart, he did not dare to ask Shen Yi. I told you the matter, I just hope you can decide how to resolve this matter. At this time, the arrogant cloud-shaped person on the spaceship lowered his head, said nothing, and no longer had the momentum he had just now. Knowing that the leader treats Shen Yi like this, and even threatening him, it is completely self-indulgent. Things have developed into what they are now, and there is absolutely no way out. The leader looked at Shen Yi like this, and naturally knew that he had to choose the result that made him happy. You must not get angry with your body because of this little thing. You sent him there because he was relatively young and easy to train, but you didn't expect such a thing to happen. 5. For flowers. If these things could have been anticipated earlier, the leader would not have given it to Shen Yi anyway. Seeing the leader being so respected, the anger in his heart also decreased. Shen Yi just hoped that the leader could solve the problem of his disobedience, so as to avoid more unpleasantness in the future. You said so, I naturally won't blame you, but you always have to find a way to solve this matter. 0. Seeing that Shen Yi didn't hold on to this matter, he breathed a sigh of relief. Don't worry, I will help you solve this matter right away, you just need to watch and don't get angry again. Lu Mingming was also worried that the leader of the cloud-type people would reprimand Shen Yi, thinking that Shen Yi did not take good care of their fellows. But seeing such a big reversal, I couldn't help but have some doubts in my heart. Want to know what happened between them before, to make the cloud-type person so powerful and the creature so respectful to Shen Yi. He calmed down a little, and looked at the cloud-shaped person who was following Shen Yi. What are you doing hiding there? Do you know that what you have done is too much, and you are afraid of being blamed, so you don't want to show your head? The cloud-type person who had been hiding behind Shen Yi knew that there was no way to escape this matter, and it was his unspoken words at first that caused all these oolong incidents. He lowered his head with some shame in his heart, and slowly approached the leader Wan. 63%. Chapter 252. Rest assured to leave. What kind of trouble did you bring us this time? How could you be so open-mouthed about Shen Yi? He has already conquered us with your strength before, so you should be respectful. Shen Yi saw that the commander had begun to scold the cloud-shaped man, without any interest. Instead he sat on the spaceship and looked down coldly. Lu Mingming saw that Shen Yi really didn't care about Yun-type people, and thought it was too cruel. Cloud-type people don't have any bad intentions, maybe they just hate themselves, but they can't say what they say to persuade Shen Yi. After he was afraid of the 960 incident, he was not sure how the cloud-type person would frame himself next time. At that time, he may not be able to stay on the spacecraft, and his heart is very entangled. Wu Wu next to him took the opportunity to speak at this time. Shen Yi, we can't just let the cloud-type person lead him to scold him all the time, there is no result at all, but it will make the cloud-type person feel ashamed. Originally, Shen Yi was not prepared to go too far, he always felt that there was still a need for cloud-type people in the future. After dealing with the cloud-type person, it will become easier in the future. When the right time came, Shen Yi walked down slowly. This matter is not very serious, you scold him, don't let him have similar thoughts in the future. 35. Seeing him like this, the commander also stopped. In order to avoid similar things from happening in the future, there is already a solution. Don't worry, such a thing will never happen in the future, I'm going to clear his memory. Shen Yi didn't expect that the commander was going to do this, thinking that it was unfair to treat him. Don't do this. Once he clears his memory, I'm afraid even you won't remember it. The commander also didn't want to do it like this, just so that the cloud-type person could follow Shen Yi's arrangement well, and only do it like this. Don't worry, I've already thought about it. Soon, the cloud-type person was taken down. Watching the cloud-type person leave, Shenyi couldn't tell the feeling. It didn't take long for the cloud-type to remember nothing at all and just follow Shenyi. Seeing him become strange, Shenyi felt a little unnatural, and realized that he had lost his memory now. In the future, he will be loyal to you, just follow your arrangements, and will not cause you any more trouble. 35. Well, since that's the case, I'll leave. All the problems have been resolved, and it doesn't make much sense for Shenyi to stay here. Seeing Shenyi like this, the commander was completely relieved. If you have any questions in the future, remember to come to me. You don't need to be so outspoken. In my eyes, you are the commander of the cloud-type people. 99. Shenyi nodded, boarded the spaceship, and looked at Lu Mingming, who had been beside him the whole time. Knowing this, he was greatly frightened. Lu Mingming, don't worry, this kind of thing won't happen again after following me. This time is also my mistake. Seeing him like this, I was stunned for a moment, not letting my heart fluctuate too much. Shenyi, why do you suddenly care so much about Lu Mingming? I often see that you have always been indifferent to all of us. The unnecessary question made everyone smile awkwardly, and Shenling spoke quickly at this time. Okay, everyone, stop being so curious about this matter, go back and have a good rest. Seeing Shenling speak to help Shenyi speak, he left without thinking. Lu Mingming felt embarrassed seeing Shenyi caring about him so much. This time, it's my own problem, and it wouldn't be the case if I didn't care about it very much. In the beginning, it was Lu Mingming's small stomach and chicken intestines, which made things more and more serious. Now seeing Shenyi blame himself even more for himself, always causing trouble for Shenyi, he really shouldn't stay by Shenyi's side all the time. Shenyi didn't expect Lu Mingming to be able to blame himself so much. He never thought that this matter could have anything to do with Lu Mingming in 3.6. If it weren't for the cloud-type people's unrelenting resignation, how could the matter be troubled by the cloud-type people's ethnic group? Shenyi himself thought that he might not pass by again in the future, but he didn't expect to pass by again so quickly. Okay, don't think about it, it's over. Lu Mingming finally left with confidence. He believed that Shenyi would protect himself and prevent himself from being in danger. Shenling looked at Shenyi's soft-heartedness last time, and felt strange, but he didn't expect it to be the same this time. 63%. Chapter 253 Unknown Intimacy. Why did your attitude towards Lu Mingming have changed dramatically, and now you are still worried about his emotions? What happened today? No matter who you are, will keep it in your heart. Shenling's heart was filled with a lot of questions, and he hoped that he could ask them clearly. Seeing that he was so concerned about this matter, even Shenyi didn't know it. Since I had a strange feeling about Lu Mingming, this feeling seems to be getting more and more intense. Every time I see Lu Mingming, I feel a little unbearable, and even want to treat him gently. I don't know what's going on. Every time I see him, I always want to talk to him gently. Seeing Shenyi calmly, Shenling always felt strange. Shenyi's attitude changed too fast. Don't you think it's strange that something like this has never happened to you before? Shenling's reminder made Shenyi realize that something was wrong and calmed down a little. But no matter how he thought about it, Shenyi didn't know where the problem was, just suddenly looked at Lu Mingming with an inexplicable intimacy. I myself don't know what's going on, but Lu Mingming didn't do anything bad to me, maybe there are other reasons. After experiencing such a thing, Lu Mingming couldn't come out for a while. If I don't want to bother Lu Mingming because of these things, I might as well wait a while, maybe the truth will surface. Seeing Shenyi like this, Shenling felt that this matter could not be delayed. Since you don't know what's going on in this matter, I think it's better to investigate, not to suspect Lu Mingming. Shenyi was entangled in his heart, not knowing what to do for a while. He could only calm down a little bit. After all, he didn't want to do something bad for Lu Mingming, and he didn't want Lu Mingming to be hurt by other things at this moment. Seeing Shenyi like this, Shenling knew what he was thinking about, but he also thought about it clearly. I know that you don't want to hurt Lu Mingming. I have considered this matter clearly for you, so I won't have any worries. Even though Shenling arranged everything properly, Shenyi was still worried. Lu Mingming is somewhat sensitive and has a great sense of the surrounding situation. I think it's better to push it, investigate this matter later, and give him some breathing time. Shenyi didn't know why. From the bottom of his heart, he didn't want to hurt Lu Mingming in the slightest. Seeing Shenyi's tangled appearance, Shenling was not going to tell Shenyi. All right. After Shen Yi left, Shen Ling decided to investigate what happened to Lu Mingming. On the surface, he said that he would investigate this matter, but he was confused and had no clue. It was the first time he encountered this, and he didn't know what to do for a while. He quickly searched the resources for everything about Lu Mingming and wanted to find something. Lu Mingming returned to the room, thinking about what happened recently, and was glad that he could still stay here. Since the clouds lost their memory, they have sat on the spaceship to share the stress. Shen Ling did not investigate any information about Lu Mingming on the internet, and felt that it was very strange. No matter what it is, you can investigate some things on it, but Lu Mingming has nothing. Not facing Lu Mingming, he was full of vigilance and prepared to tell Shen Yi about this. Considering Shen Yi's hesitation in this matter, he finally gave up the idea. When I thought of asking other people on the spacecraft, I always noticed that Lu Mingming was different. After having this thought, it is useless to prepare to find it without even thinking about it. I just went to Wu 960, Wu Wei was busy doing other things, and didn't give myself a chance to speak at all. Shen Ling could only give up the idea of looking for him, and decided to ask Shen Er. Shen Er was shocked when he saw Shen Ling appear, and didn't know why he appeared here. Shen Ling, why didn't you pay attention to the surrounding situation, but instead ran over to find me? I have something I want you to. Before Shen Ling could say it, he was interrupted directly. I can't help, so I left first. As Shen Er said, he was about to leave as if escaping, but was stopped by Shen Ling. Wait a minute, just ask some things, don't need your help, don't worry. 99. Shen Er stopped and stayed here all of a sudden, looking at Shen Ling. If you have anything to ask, you can say it directly. 63%. Chapter 254 Deliberately show affection. Do you have any special feelings for Lu Mingming? 99. Shen Ling suddenly said this, and Shen Er was silent for a long time. I have some different feelings about him, and I can't say anything cruel if I hate him. 35. Shen Er didn't know what was going on, but what he said was his true feelings. Seeing Shen Er like this, he calmed down a little bit. Shen Ling thought that such an important discovery should be told to Shen Yi. Shen Yi also said earlier that he had a strange feeling, and I always thought this was a little strange, so I told Shen Yi the news. Shen Er was a little shocked when he heard the news, and he didn't know what to do for a while, so he calmed down as much as possible. What? Shen Yi feels this way too, are you kidding me? Thinking of Shen Yi's different attitude towards Lu Mingming, Shen Er felt very uncomfortable. Now that I know that Shen Yi feels exactly the same as myself, I am relieved. Knowing that Shen Yi was a little strange, Shen Er thought it was necessary to make it clear. Since this is the case, let's go to Shen Yi to clarify this matter and see what happened to Lu Mingming. Shen Er didn't want Shen Yi to be unfair to himself. Seeing him being so gentle to Lu Mingming every time, he couldn't help feeling a little uncomfortable. But Shen Ling, who was beside him, didn't think like this, and felt strange in his heart. Okay, let's go. Shen Ling was silent for a long time before speaking. The two quickly appeared in front of Shen Yi, and Shen Yi had a headache when he saw Shen Ling appear again. Guessing that it may be because of Lu Mingming's matter, Shen Yi hopes that this matter will only pass. If it's about Lu Mingming, I think you should stop talking about it, now he has no interest in knowing other things. Shen Ling knew that Shen Yi was a little repelled from talking about Lu Mingming, but it was also for Shen Yi's good. It's not just you who feel differently about Lu Mingming. 99. Who else? Before Shen Ling could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Shen Yi next to him. Seeing Shen Yi like this, Shen Ling was helpless. Shen Er, he also has a different feeling towards Lu Mingming. Hearing this result, Shen Yi was a little surprised. He didn't expect that there would be someone like him. Looking at Shen Er next to him, he thought for a long time, thinking that the two of them were already involved. Have you been idle lately and started thinking wildly? It's not normal for me and Shen Er to have the same feeling. Shen Yi didn't think there was anything strange about Lu Mingming at all, and felt that Shen Ling was overthinking it. Shen Ling looked at the way he didn't take it to heart, and was very anxious, and didn't know what to say. Shen Yi, trust me, there must be something wrong with Lu Mingming. Shen Er watched Shen Yi blindly believe in Lu Mingming, and finally couldn't help but help Shen Ling, feeling that this matter could be investigated clearly. I think we should investigate it properly. What is going on in this matter? Shen Ling will definitely not be innocent. Seeing how the two of them sang together, Shen Yi felt a faint headache and thought he had to make it clear. It's really because the two of you think too much, and it's normal to treat him better. After all, after so much hardship, he was the only one left in the end. Shen Ling tried hard for a long time without results, and left directly. Shen didn't know how to persuade Shen Yi, and sighed. The three had no idea at all, and their conversation was overheard by Lu Mingming. Originally, Lu Mingming came to Shen Yi to talk about other things, but he didn't expect to overhear the conversation between the three of them here. Knowing that Shen Ling doubted, I couldn't help but feel a little scared. Thinking about how to reduce Shen Ling's weirdness to himself, he took the initiative to take some things to find Shen Ling. Back in the room, Shen Ling watched Lu Mingming suddenly come to Z King Nuo's and was surprised, not knowing what was going on. Backquote, why did you come suddenly? Is there something wrong with the spacecraft? You can go directly to Shen and ask. Shen Ling felt a headache when he saw Lu Mingming appear in front of him. At this time, he just wanted to stay alone and think about what was going on. Lu Mingming could see that he was driving him away, but until the purpose of coming here was unsuccessful, he would not leave no matter what. Everyone has been working hard during this time. I have prepared some fruits, you can taste them. 64%. Chapter 255 Special Functions. Seeing that Lu Mingming was so enthusiastic about him, Shen Ling always felt a little strange, and naturally did not dare to use the things he sent. Thank you for your kindness, you can give these things to others, I don't need them. Lu Mingming didn't think that Shen Ling would refuse directly, after all, he also spent a lot of energy on this matter. She thought that these fruits could impress her, but now it seems that she is overthinking it. The failure this time did not hit Lu Mingming, he knew that until now, Shen Ling did not have sufficient evidence. Since you are a little tired, take a good rest, I won't disturb you here, and leave first. After speaking, Lu Mingming quickly left. Shen Yi went to look for Yun-type people after they left, remembering that Yun-type people don't have a name yet. She couldn't always address the Cloud-type person. She struggled for a long time. After all, she didn't want to waste too much time because of the name, so 963 randomly named Shen San. When Shen Ling came to look for Shen Yi, he was shocked when he heard that he called the Cloud-type person Shen San. I didn't expect Shen Yi to be so careless. Previously, Shen Yi cared so much about Cloud-type people, but now it seems that everything has changed. It's too careless for you to name the Cloud-type person, but you just named Shen San like that. Shen Yi didn't take it seriously when he heard this, he always felt that the name was just a title. No matter what the name is, there is no need to spend too much thought on the name. After all, the name is just a name for him, and the name is not that important at all, as long as it can play the greatest role. 99. Shen 0. Seeing Shen Yi refuting AHDG that he couldn't find a suitable reason to prevaricate for a while, he finally left in despair. Only Shen Yi and Shen San were left on the training ground, and Shen San, who was in front of him, no longer had his own opinions as before. I want to see if Shen San has any special functions. If he can find other special functions, it will be a huge help. Soon, Shen Yi started to act. But he didn't have the special ability of teleportation or bursting combat power that Shen Yi imagined, which made Shen Yi a little disappointed. At this time, a small interstellar monster suddenly broke in, and Shen Yi was shocked to see the monster that was supposed to be cleaning the spaceship suddenly appear. He didn't understand what the other party was going to do, because without Shen Ling's company, Shen Yi couldn't understand what the other party was saying. Just when Shen Yi was extremely anxious, Shen Ling, who was beside him, suddenly approached. As if communicating with that monster, Shen Yi seemed to have discovered something, and watched the two of them communicate for a long time. Don't worry, he is only here to clean the training ground, and this place is left uncleaned today. 39. Shen Yi stared at Shen San from start to finish, but never spoke. Shen San didn't know what he did to make the other party so excited, but just stood there motionless. It took a long time for the monster to clean up the training ground. Shen Yi didn't want him here. You can tell him not to clean the training ground today, say I have a very important use, and let him come back another day. Shen San did as Shen Yi asked, and the monster left, leaving only the two of them. Are all cloud types able to hear what other stellar monsters say, and communicate with other monsters proficiently? Faced with such a question, Shen San didn't know how to answer it. After all, each cloud type person had different special abilities. Some people could even fly, but he didn't seem to have this ability. It's just that these are all heard from his family's mouth, and the specifics are unknown. After tangled in my heart for a long time, I chose to hide it and shook my head. Seeing what Shen San didn't know, Shen Yi arranged it in the training room and quickly looked for Shen Ling. Shen Ling was shocked when Shen Yi suddenly came to him, and knew that because of Lu Mingming's incident, there was some estrangement between the two of them. Why are you here? Regarding Lu Mingming, I don't have any. Right now, he was just doing this secretly, thinking that Shen Yi found out and ran over to ask the teacher to ask the guilt. Can clouds communicate with many interstellar monsters? 35. 64%. Chapter 256 Testing Ability. Shen Ling didn't know how to answer, and he didn't know whether the cloud-type person could communicate with many interstellar monsters. I am afraid that this matter has to pass the test to determine whether Shen San has this ability. I don't know what this matter is like, and I haven't seen similar content in the materials before, but... Shen Yi looked at Shen Ling's faltering appearance, and knew that the two of them had had an unpleasant quarrel because of Lu Mingming's incident. In this matter, Shen San completely believed him. If you have anything to say, just say it directly, don't hide it. After all, I believe you won't hurt Shen San. If you want to determine whether Shen San has the ability to communicate with more star monsters, it is better to take him to the gathering place of star monsters to test. Shen Yi thought for a long time and felt that this was the only way to determine the result. Apart from this method, there is no other choice. It is good. Soon they came to the vicinity of the monster gathering place. Watching Shen Yi and Shen San standing together, Shen was afraid that the two of them would encounter danger when they went to the monster gathering place. I'll go with the two of you, and I can protect you in case of any danger. No need. Shen Yi took Shen San on a small battleship and came to the gathering place of monsters. For a while you try to communicate with them and see if you can understand them. 99. Quote, Shen San didn't say a word of superfluous words, and chose to follow Shen Yi's arrangement. As if everything Shen Yi said was correct and would not bring him any danger. But when they got closer and closer to the gathering place of monsters, they all left as if they had received some huge stimulus. Shen Yi was surprised but not reconciled, and completely landed on the monster gathering place, and the surrounding monsters disappeared completely. Looking at Shen San, who was beside him in surprise, he didn't understand what happened. From beginning to end, Shen San didn't say a word that shouldn't be said. The monsters retreated as if they had seen terrifying creatures. Did you say something to them just now? Shen Yi often dealt with many interstellar monsters, and this time he didn't mean to hurt them. I have no idea. Shen San looked at Shen Yi with determination in his eyes. Seeing Shen San like this, Shen Yi thinks that this matter needs to be considered in the long run and cannot go on like this forever. Since there are no interstellar monsters, let's go back and discuss the long-term plan, and we can't find the problem here. Shen watched Shen Yi brought Shen San back, feeling a little excited and curious. Has he found out what Shen San's supernatural abilities look like? Once discovered, his position here is even more precarious. What's the result of the two of you? Have you found out what Shen San's special ability is? We've all been waiting here for a long time. Looking at Shen expectant eyes, Shen Yi just shook his head helplessly. 0. Katakana middle dot flowers katakana middle dot. There is nothing he can do about this matter, and he can only ask Shen Ling to investigate what is going on in this matter. Hurry up and investigate what is going on in this matter, why the interstellar monster fled when he saw him. Shen Ling knew the significance of Shen Yi in this matter, and quickly went to investigate this matter. It is found that each cloud-type person has different abilities, and it is not a general ability. Each of them has some differences in ability. Maybe his ability is only to be able to understand those interstellar monsters that are not malicious, and those who are full of malicious disgust monsters will be directly driven away. However, I didn't expect that the cloud-type people could actually have different abilities. It's not like they are limited in their ability to do whatever they do every time. Maybe there is a problem somewhere. Why don't you try those interstellar monsters again? Maybe you have seen other terrible things. Shen felt that this matter must be investigated clearly in order to reduce unnecessary troubles in the future. No, it will be the same if the test continues. I believe that the information Shen Ling investigated will not cause any problems. After Shen Yi dropped these words, he left without looking back. He thought that if he stayed here all the time, the atmosphere would become very depressing, and he couldn't breathe. Watching Shen Yi leave, Shen San knew that it was because of himself that everyone around cared about Shen San. You said, what will Shen Yi do this time? 1. 64%. Chapter 257 Black Holes Increase. Where several people are talking, no one cares about the cloud-type person. Shen Yi didn't know what to do next, and he didn't know how to use Shen San's special abilities. It seems that not every time it can be used without incident, there will be a problem. If this problem cannot be controlled, it will cause a series of troubles. Thinking of these, even he himself doesn't know how to use Shen San's ability. It seems that this ability has many advantages, and there is no way to control it. After struggling for a long time, Shen Yi finally decided not to use his abilities for the time being, in order to avoid some serious consequences of issuing 963. Shen San didn't see Shen Yi coming to train for several days, and he felt very strange. I don't understand if he did something wrong on the planet that day that made Shen Yi angry and made Shen Yi give up on himself, or there were other factors. He took the initiative to come to Shen Yi and directly stated the problem in his heart. Why haven't you brought me to train with you recently? Did I do something to make you unhappy? Shen San suddenly came to him. Shen Yi was a little caught off guard. It wasn't that he didn't want to use Shen San. I just feel that some things can't make him work too hard and take a good rest. Maybe the ability will still be stable. Shen Yi just follows these times to advance in the space. I'm not sure what your special ability is, and now training rashly always seems a little overwhelmed. You can take this opportunity to take a good rest for a while. Shen Yi explained the reason why he did this, hoping that the other party could understand him. Shen San learned that Shen Yi did these things for himself. The original dissatisfaction disappeared completely, and he left slowly. Shen Yi, who had not been out of the room for a long time, suddenly looked at the interstellar scenery outside the window, and found that the black hole in the place he was in became more and more. Even 4 or 5 times the number of black holes before. I don't know what is going on, thinking that they are entering the black hole group. If we continue to drive like this, it will become more dangerous, so we rush to find Shenling and stop the current route. I didn't tell you to pay attention to the situation outside the spacecraft. How come so many black holes have been added without changing the course? Shenling hadn't seen Shen Yi for the past few days, thinking that he would never appear in the room again, but he didn't expect to suddenly appear at this time, and he was caught off guard. I know there are more and more black holes around. Don't worry, this is only temporary, and that can change soon. Shen Yi didn't understand why he replied to himself like this. He just thought that he needed to redirect the travel and couldn't go on like this. Not knowing what danger awaits them in front of them, Shen Yi is not particularly strong now, so be careful in everything you do. You'd better redefine your travel route. Don't go down this route, it's really too dangerous. Seeing Shen Yi insisting on recustomizing his route, Shenling didn't know how to answer his words 0. It's better to discuss this matter with others. You alone cannot decide what the outcome will be. Seeing that Shenling didn't want to do as he planned, he was a little angry, thinking that he wasted his time in vain. Now why are you suddenly disobeying my arrangement? Is there any misunderstanding of this matter? 35. Shenling called Shen and the others over. Meaningless, they didn't understand what they were doing here. Is there any danger around our spaceship, or is it attacked? Don't be afraid. Shen and I can definitely solve it this time. 99. Wu Wei has been following Shen Yi for so long, and every time he can't help, he always hopes that there will be a chance for him to show his ability. Shen looked needlessly impatient, smiled helplessly, looked at Shen Yi and Shenling, and felt a subtle change in the atmosphere between the two of them. I don't know if you have discovered that in 3.6, there are more and more black holes in the place where we are. Even if there is a strong protective cover, it is a little dangerous to travel between so many black holes. 39. Shen Yi entered the topic and looked at Shen and Wu Wei, hoping that they could support him. The two had absolutely no idea what was going on, and felt that this was something Shen Yi and Shenling should discuss, and they should not be involved in this matter. The two of us don't know the specific situation at all. Let's discuss it, let's do other things. 64%. Chapter 258. Move on. Shen pulled the meaningless and did not look back to leave, but was forced to stay by Shen Yi. You don't need to leave in a hurry. Just express your opinions and feel that there are more and more black holes around. Should we redefine the direction of travel? Seeing that Shen Yi insisted on listening to the answer from the two of them, he felt a little tangled in his heart. It is best to avoid places that are considered dangerous, especially this unknown black hole, and I don't know what will happen after being sucked in. I think it's better to change the route, otherwise it's too dangerous. Satisfied with Shen answer, Shen Yi nodded his head and looked at Wu Wei. Wu Wei is a little different from Shen but he doesn't want to take risks. There are too many creatures on the spaceship, and it doesn't matter to me, other creatures are different. I also think it's better to replan the travel direction. It's too bad to stay here. Seeing that the two of them actually supported this matter, Shenling suddenly became worried. The two of you think carefully. Although there are many black holes around here, there may be some rare treasures. It's meaningless to watch the two of them treat these things like this, and their hearts are up and down, and there is no way to calm down for a long time. But you can't disregard the safety of others for your own selfishness, so just follow Shen Yi's request. After the two expressed their opinions, they left directly. Seeing that Shenling was going to do what Shen Yi asked, he decided that it would be better to clarify this matter. It's not that I don't care about everyone's safety, it's just that the destination of this road is a place that everyone aspires to, and everyone wants to be able to go there. It's just that most people's spaceships have no protective cover at all, and they can't stay here for too long. Shen Yi did not expect that Shenling stubbornly insisted on this path, but there were other hidden secrets, and he couldn't help but get tangled in his heart. With interest, I want to know the place that everyone yearns for. What could attract them, make them want to get to that place regardless of their own dangers? Do you know what the hell is in that place? Why does it attract so many people? Seeing that Shen Yi was interested in this matter, he knew that the things he disclosed just happened to Shen Yi's heart. I am afraid that I have been thinking about this matter all the time, entangled for a long time, with a faint smile on the corner of my mouth. So far no one has reached that place, and it is not known what it will be like. No one has been to that place so far, and it's a rare opportunity for us. Once someone has been there, there's nothing appealing about it. 99. Others will definitely take away the best things when they have been there, not necessarily good things are left to them. If that's the case, then continue on this route. Seeing that Shen Yi agreed, Shenling was happy, and there was not much change. That's great. But not long after driving, there was a vibration from the spacecraft, and Shenling ran over in a panic. Shen Yi, I don't know why the black hole around here has such a strong suction. He didn't expect to encounter trouble so soon. Shen Yi knew that the level of the protective cover was not enough, and it became what it is now. Can the speed of the spaceship be any faster? Shen Yi thought that the spaceship was flying faster and could escape from here. Shenling didn't know how to do this, so he calmed down and thought this was the fastest way at the moment. Okay, then to speed up the spacecraft, it will take some energy. In the end, how much energy to consume? 963. Shenling is not clear. It is good. Shen Yi quickly consumed a large amount of energy in the spaceship, and only desperately escaped the catastrophe. Shen rushed over because of the vibration of the spaceship and was worried when he saw where Shen Yi was consuming energy. Let's change the course quickly. We don't know what will happen if it goes on like this. It's okay. Go back and rest. Shen Yi's attitude changed drastically, which made Shen feel strange and left. The spacecraft quickly stabilized and traveled in balance in interstellar space, with no reduction in the surrounding black holes. Shenling was afraid that a similar situation would occur, and he did not relax. Staring out, as if afraid of missing something. No need to see that the route has not changed. Knowing that Shen Yi has changed his mind, he did not ask. There were no more problems, and Shen couldn't find Shen Yi again to change his mind. 65%. Chapter 259. Found abandoned spaceship. Because there is no black hole trouble, they become idle in this place. Shen took the initiative to find Shen Yi, hoping that Shen Yi could arrange something for him. Shen Yi, I'm so bored here alone, can you let me do other things? Looking at Shen boring face, Shen Yi has nothing to do these days. However, apart from the black hole, there is nothing around it at all. It's nothing. If you're really bored, you can disturb the spaceship, or go to the cloud-type person. If you go to Zhang Mingming, it will only make Zhang Mingming more afraid of them. It is better to go to the cloud-type person and let Shen San accompany him to relax. Seeing that Shen Yi had nothing to do, Shen felt a little helpless, because he had gotten so much improvement now. However, now I don't want to go to see Shen San anymore. I've been going to see Shen San every day these few days, and what Shen San knows is just a little bit. Thinking of these feelings, I can't help but feel a little depressed, and there is not even the slightest smile on the corner of my mouth. Seeing Shen like this, Shen Yi also knew that he was not very satisfied with his arrangement. But now there is no one around the spaceship looking for trouble for them, and there is no potential safety hazard. Not to mention star monsters, there is no other food other than black holes visible to the naked eye. If it's really boring, you can improve your strength, just the battleship can provide enough energy for you to use. Seeing what Shen Yi arranged for him, Shen didn't hold out much hope. After all, he left in a gloomy manner without any emotional change on his face. Lying in the room, Shen looked at the ceiling, thinking about what he could do. I suddenly remembered that I have the ability to detect the surrounding situation. As long as I lie down here, I can check the nearby situation as the spaceship moves. If there is any danger, you can tell Shen Yi immediately. This is probably the only thing that can pass the time. He started to use his abilities. Although he just acquired this ability, is not very good in controlling all aspects, but he still looked at the situation around him as much as possible. On the other hand, the cloud-type people are in the training room every day on the spaceship, increasing their strength. Lu Mingming seemed to have something to do every day, and he didn't mean to come to them at all. Shen Ling kept paying attention to Lu Mingming's every move. However, Shen Ling ignored the most important thing in the surrounding situation on the spacecraft. Soon, Shen felt that there was something not far away, because the distance was too far to be able to see clearly, but it was on the route they were traveling. In order to avoid what happened next, Shen came to Shen Yi immediately. Looking at Shen appearance, Shen Yi didn't know why, thinking that he was too boring. I have other things to do, let me have a good rest, and I don't know what to face next. Knowing that Shen Yi did not welcome him, Shen smiled awkwardly. He also had something important to do, so he rushed over. I didn't come to you because I was bored, I just have some important discoveries that I want to tell you. Shen serious look made Shen Yi less suspicious. I also wanted to know what was found around the spacecraft, and why didn't Shen Ling come over? What did you find? Why didn't Shen Ling come over and tell me? I don't know about that, but everything I say is true. Shen hesitated, not understanding what Shen Ling was doing. Perhaps he had neglected something. After all, that thing is still far away from them, and it is difficult to see what it is. Nor King is good. Then you can tell me what's in the place not far away. I found that there seems to be something in our driving track, you can take a good look at it. Shen Yi couldn't help frowning, but didn't say a word, very calm. What is it? Shen couldn't answer this question for a while, the distance was too far, he could only be sure that there was something not far away, and it would take a while to see clearly. The distance is a little far, and I can see it clearly after driving for a while. It's better to speed up and get close to that thing as soon as possible. 65%. Chapter 260 Confirming Safety. Shen Yi accelerated the speed of the spaceship, the distance was getting closer and closer, and soon Shen could see clearly. It's an abandoned ship. Finally, I saw clearly what was in the distance, and my heart was even a little excited. Shen Yi also didn't expect that there would be abandoned spaceships staying nearby in a place with so many black holes. Not being sucked into the black hole, it can be seen that this spacecraft may have some secrets. Shen heart was also full of curiosity, and he wanted to go to that spaceship to see what was on the spaceship. Can we go to that spaceship and see it? Maybe there's something we haven't won. 39. Shen Yi was also full of curiosity about this spaceship, but he couldn't go alone, and at least he had to get Shen Ling's approval to move forward. You ask Shen Ling to come over and let me talk to him about this matter and see what to do. As long as he goes to check 963, there should be no problem. Every time Shen Yi faced an unfamiliar environment, Shen Yi would choose to let Shen Ling investigate first, and then decide what to do, and this time was no exception. Shen quickly called Shen Ling over. Shen Ling didn't know what was going on, and was confused. Shen Yi, why did you suddenly let me over? Is there something wrong with the spacecraft? After such a long period of time, most of Shen Ling's attention was on Lu Mingming, and he didn't pay attention to the situation of the spacecraft at all. If something goes wrong, I can't help but feel guilty. We found an abandoned ship not far away and wanted you to see what's on the ship. Hearing this sentence, Shen Ling's complexion changed greatly, thinking that there were too many unknown dangers in that place. I think it's better to go somewhere else, where there is a lot of danger. What if there is an accident? 35. In this interstellar space full of black holes, some danger will occur anytime and anywhere. The unknown on the spacecraft is too great, and the hidden danger of insecurity is also great. Seeing that Shen Ling was worried about the danger, Shen Yi didn't know how to respond for a while. After all, in the unknown, the risk factor is still quite large. Especially in this kind of place where no grass grows and there are almost no other people, the danger is even more serious. However, Shen has a special function that can detect whether there is any danger on that spaceship. If there is no danger, you can indeed send Shen Ling to take a look. If there is danger, you will naturally not go. Shen Ling, have you forgotten? I have a new ability to detect whether there is any danger on that spaceship, I just need to get closer. 55. Under the excitement just now, Shen Yi forgot that Shen Ahdg had this ability for a while, but now he suddenly mentioned it, and he reacted all at once. Hurry up and check if there are any safety hazards on that spaceship. If there is no danger, we will get close to that spaceship and let Shen Ling go up and check first. 35. Shen also wanted to check whether the spaceship was safe or not at this time. But the distance is too far, and his ability is not enough to be able to see clearly, only if it is closer to the spaceship can it be determined. We can only see if there are any safety hazards on it after driving forward for a certain distance. Without any doubts, Shen Yi quickly accelerated the speed of the spaceship's movement. The spaceship was getting closer and closer, and Shen saw clearly that everything in the spaceship did not contain any living creatures, and was able to determine that the spaceship was safe. I'm sure that there is no danger on this spacecraft, and there is no biological existence, so let Shen Ling go up and take a look. 99. Seeing Shen decisive appearance, Shen Yi did not have any doubts, and the spaceship soon got very close to the abandoned spaceship. Shen Ling was driving the spaceship to go out, but Shen was still not at ease. You must pay attention to safety when you pass. Although I have confirmed that there are no creatures there, some other events will inevitably occur. 5. Seeing Shen awkward appearance, Shen Ling smiled, knowing that he was worried about his own safety. Don't worry, I won't be in any danger, and I will be more careful on that spaceship in case anything bad happens. Shen Yi looked at the reluctance of the two of them and urged Shen Ling to leave quickly. Shen Ling packed up some things he needed.